All right. We finally got into this one, the offshoot Bond film, the unofficial Bond film, Never Say Never Again. I'm going to say this one more time, and I'm never going to say this again. Back before Dr. No was even a film, Ian Fleming wrote a script for an unfilmed James Bond movie along with Jack Whittingham and Kevin McClory. The film never happened, so Fleming repurposed the script into his novel Thunderball. Kevin McClory found out about this, snuck in, and demanded. He filed a lawsuit against Ian Fleming and won, and got the rights for the Thunderball novel. And so when they made the Thunderball film, they had to bring McClory on as a producer. After 10 years, the rights fully went back to McClory, reverted back to McClory, who decided to make another film. It was an unofficial Bond film with Sean Connery returning as James Bond and Irving Kershner of the guy who directed the best Star Wars film ever, Empire Strikes Back. Look, when I was rehearsing this, I went into a whole spiel about how, it's ridiculous that people say that Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie ever. I'm just going to say that, to shorten it up, my little spiel, it's not. The only good things in that film are the reveal of Darth Vader and the introduction of Yoda. That's it. Everything else, unnecessary snow battle at the beginning of the film, separating Luke from them, ridiculous betrayal from Lando. I love Lando, but he betrays Han, then decides, nah, and helps them, and it just gets forgiven for everything. It never comes back. Even in Return of the Jedi, which I like better than that. I just don't get it. And the ending is depressing as hell. It doesn't work for me, okay? I've never seen how anyone can say that Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars film. For me, the original Star Wars trilogy goes, the bottom is Empire Strikes Back, in the middle is Return of the Jedi, and the best one is the original Star Wars. There. I shortened it. Let's move on. James fucking Bond, alright? Released in 1983, the same year as Octopussy. It's a remake of Thunderball, basically, with a few changes. Some better than Thunderball, some not so much. Like, say, the opening. Now, the opening of a James Bond film is supposed to get you ready for this adventure. Get your heart pumping and get you going. Here we have Bond sneaking into a facility to some terrible music. The theme song of the film, which is terrible. Yes, I know a lot of the Bond films of this time had slow songs. I have voiced many times that I do not like that. Here, there's no gun barrel. There's no opening sequence. It's Bond sneaking in with this song playing in the background. It's terrible. And this whole sequence means nothing for the rest of the film. He goes through, he rescues this girl, he gets stabbed, and then we're shown it's a training exercise that he apparently failed. And then I'll get to the characterizations later. M tells him to go lose weight, and that's why he goes to the spa in this one, to go lose weight. The spa does nothing for this version of the film, where in the original he was infiltrating the spa to get information on what Spectre was doing. Here, he's just there trying to lose weight. They do briefly mention his age, but it's not really a big thing for the film. It could have been used more. So we meet this film's version of Fiona Volpe, Fatima Blush, as she is working with Chuck Cunningham, number one, from Happy Days. Yes, there was a Chuck Cunningham. The earlier two seasons had two different versions of Chuck Cunningham, and then he was written off and never mentioned again. But he's in here. He plays Jack Pitachi, Domino's brother. And I do think they handled it better here than they did in the other one, because the whole, oh, we're going to give one guy plastic surgery, kill the real guy, and then kill the fake guy. Here, he's being blackmailed into doing this. They got him hooked on heroin as well to do what they want him to do. And they give him a fake eye with the president's eye print so he can steal the nukes for them. And I think it works better. What doesn't work better is his death. In the original, he dies while in the jet plane thing that he was in. Whereas here, he finishes what he's doing, he's driving. Fatima Blush drives up next to him, throws a snake in. That causes him to crash into a wall. And then she puts plastic explosives in there. You could have just thrown the plastic explosives in his car. Why the snake? Were they trying to be campy like the Bond films at the time? Because that's not really necessary. Also, I like the confrontation between Bond and Lippy in this one. Not Count Lippy, just Lippy. Here, he's more of a standard, big henchman type character. But in the original, he looked like a regular guy. And here, we actually have a fight between the two. Bond is in there lifting weights, and Lippy comes in and pushes it down and keeps trying to smash him. And then they have a fight with the weightlifting equipment. Very good. It gets kind of comedic as the fight goes on. But it's better than Count Lippy turning on a machine to full speed and make Bond look like he's dry humping the thing, and then Bond getting revenge by locking Count Lippy in the steam machine and turning it on high. Much better here. I do think some of the water scenes are better as well. You know? And now we talk about the characterizations. So, obviously Connery is Bond, and he plays an older, weathered Bond here, although, like I said, it's not used as much as it should have, and he's fine. You can clearly tell that Connery is having a good time on this film. Compare to You Only Live Twice and Diamonds Are Forever, where You Only Live Twice, you can tell he was very, done with the franchise, and Diamonds Are Forever, he was having a little more fun, but still. And here, you look like he was having a pretty good time. And unfortunately, that could be the fact that Cubby Broccoli wasn't involved. I know they had a falling out, but who knows? We have Largo, who I didn't mention in my run-through of the first one. In the run-through when I was doing the dry run of my review. In the original, he's this eye patch wearing guy with curly gray hair, and he's a little menacing. Here, he just seems like a guy who wants to do bad things, and he's a little whiny, and he's got reddish blonde hair and no eye patch, and he's just a stereotype. And apparently the actor wasn't very good on set, so there's that. We have M, played here by Edward Fox, and I hold Bernard Lee as the standard of M's, followed by Judi Dench, and then the guy that currently play him at this point, I forgot the guy's name, so pardon me for that. Edward Fox, one, is younger than Connery. M should always be older than Bond, so I don't know there. And he plays it mean. Like he just hates Bond for some reason. He's always yelling and he's angry. It just doesn't work. Q, or Algernon, he's a little fun. He's no Desmond Llewellyn, but he's honestly the best recast in this. Moneypenny, who's not on the cast, her recast is fine. There's no flirting between them, so she's not really important. But I did like Q. Not as good as Desmond Llewellyn, but he's a Cockney. You don't know what a Cockney is? That's, hello, Governor. How are you? Hello, James. Hello, 007. Let's get your gadgets here. And it's fine. It's fine. Felix Leiter, played by Bernie Casey. Not much to say. When you have Felix Leiter literally played by a different person in each film, there's really nothing you can say. It's recast every time. There's really no one to compare to, really. And Domino, here played by Kim Hello Legs from Batman 89. She's fine. She's not like the original Domino, who's really hot. And I'm not saying that Kim Basinger isn't hot. She's very gorgeous, but I like the other Domino better. Characteristically, not just looks, but characteristically, I think she played it better. I do like Fatima Blush's entrance, but comparing her to Fiona Volpe, I don't think she's as good. And finally, we got Ernst Stavro Blofeld, played by a wasted Max von Sydow. In the original version, they weren't showing Blofeld, and he wasn't even known as Blofeld, just number one, which for some reason, Largo was number one here. He's supposed to be number two. I don't know. But here you see him in all his splendor, and he's Max von Sydow, who does a good performance, but he's not used. And that's kind of the thing. When you're repurposing, stuff from before, and he was used very sparingly in the first one, in the original, in Thunderball, because he wasn't revealed yet. Here, he's used the same way, but you see his face, and it's like, why cast someone like Max von Sydow if you're going to just use him in the same way? You see his face, but he's used for the same amount of time, I think. Like I said, I like the underwater scenes better. If I have to compare this with Thunderball, which I have been doing, I'd say it's just a hair better than Thunderball for me. As you know, by this point, Thunderball is the one I like the least. I wouldn't say worst, but the one I like the least. At this, just a hairpin better. Just a little bit. There's things I like more in this. Hey, bonus. I didn't doze off at all during this. Whereas in Thunderball, I dozed off a couple times. Here, I was watching it the whole time. No problem. It is long, no, and I say that about every James Bond film, but it is long. This one clocks in at 2 hours and 13 minutes. You had a chance, movie. You're not an official James Bond movie, so you don't have to be as long as those movies, but you still are. Okay, Ducky. Overall, I'd say that, like I said, it's a hairpin bigger, just a hair better than Thunderball, but that's not saying much as I didn't really care for Thunderball. But, yeah, and so that finishes off Sean Connery's run in the Bond series, which my next video will be a ranking of Connery's Bond films, and then we will move on to A View to a Kill, followed by a ranking of the Roger Moore Bond films. Before we get to Timothy Dalton, which I will not be ranking because there's only 2, I'll just tell you on my License to Kill review which one I like better. And then Pierce Brosnan. But, yes, I was actually surprised that I had a feeling I was going to like this better than the other one, but I was still surprised. I'm like, okay, I did like this better, but not much better, just a little bit. So, what are your thoughts on Never Say Never Again, or whatever that terrible song goes? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.